Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to be talking about veiled and visibility. So, this is for those women who are much like myself, who want to be seen without self-abandonment. Those introverts, those spiritual women who are very sensitive, but we have an impact and we need to be more visible. So, I'm going to be covering some things that you can do today to make sure that you're not abandoning yourself on your visibility journey. So, before creating this YouTube channel, Ahimsa Ecosystem, I was in a space of preparation. Um, there was this quietness inside me, but also there was this loudness. And instead of allowing them to just really bounce off each other, I really had to go inward and decide how I was going to resolve this internal conflict. And I was watching others get rewarded for their visibility. Uh, the louder their voices were, the more that it seems that they were getting more exposure. They were getting on stages. They were having these amazing collaborations. And yet something inside of me that it just wouldn't let me move. Would not let me move forward no matter what I was doing. I felt like I was stuck in this not knowing where to go. I wasn't hiding, but I wasn't available in a way that I knew that I needed to be to really speak my vision into existence. And this is something I really believed. I knew I needed to create a community that would travel with me virtually and into physical destinations. I was standing like at the edge of becoming visible, but there was just something stopping me. And then I found myself on this call with Laura Langmeyer, and learning about our innate wealth cycle that we are entitled to. We are innately wealthy and abundant beings. And on the Zoom call, she shared a video of Steve Harvey saying everyone who became a millionaire reached a point in their lives where they had to jump. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, jump. What is he talking about? And when I heard it and I reflected on it, I was like, I bet you he's talking about the quantum leap, right? The quantum jump in timelines into this version of me that identified as the person that I knew myself to be, the person that was in my dreams, right? Um, I had this point of thinking I knew I needed to jump, but how could I still do it and feel protected and protect my inner mystic, my inner mysteriousness, uh, my sacred self, you know? I knew I would have to speak on more stages. I would have to get in the room with more people. I would have to attend more events. How could I do this without burning out? And I'm thinking, I'm an introvert who still prefers to sit on a plane where there's nobody else sitting. Even at the movie theater, I prefer the seat where I have the maximum amount of privacy and the least likely opportunity for chit chat. So I realized that many of us want to grow and we want to grow without self abandonment. We want the tips, we want the tools, we want to know how to do this, we want to know other women on our journey who do this. And um, we want to be that part of ourselves that is meant for more, but we also want to be that part of ourselves that is meant for an intimate circle of inner supporters, right? So knowing that, and this was what I was feeling in my body. I knew that I had to protect my mind, body, and my soul, and so I came up with this beautiful ideal and this to ritualize. my protection now, so that in the future, when the demand becomes so much more, that I would already have something in place. So you are joining me um, early in the stages of my visibility journey. And I'm really glad that you're here at the foundation of this. And I just want to tell you that if you're feeling the same thing, your body won't let you move, calm that body and reassure that your energy, that you're going to be doing something to protect your energy. You're going to be protecting your body. You're going to be protecting yourself on this journey of visibility, because visibility is required for you to have the impact that you want. And it doesn't mean that you have to overexpose yourself. That is not required for you to share your truth. So, um, what it does mean is that we do have to create rituals. We do have to have practices in place to protect our energy. We do have to have boundaries in place. Uh, we need to protect our body, our privacy, our beliefs, what we choose to speak about, what we choose not to speak about, what we choose to create, and what we choose not to create. We want to choose how we lead. And let me tell you, our actions now are how we will protect our future selves. So it is so important here in the foundational stage to decide how we're going to show up and how we're not going to show up. So this is the birth of Ahimsa ecosystem. And Ahimsa is a Sanskrit word that means the minimum amount of harm and the maximum amount of empathy and love towards all conscious beings, all conscious life forms, regardless of what form that they take. So for me, Ahimsa is foundational because it's not just my spirituality, it's about structurally being woven into the fabric of the way I live and the way I do business for myself and for others. As I was saying, it's not just mankind, but our planet and all other conscious life forms that you can think of, your spiritual realm, and on and on and on. So for me, I grew up with that traditional history of U.S. history where it's rooted in bloodshed and all type of horrible things happening to different tribes. And I knew that I never wanted to grow anything in that soil. I didn't want to eat from that soil, and I didn't want what I was going to create with my energy to be rooted in that soil. So I was led to Ahimsa. And I'm so grateful and thankful that that is the foundation that I have chose, and that is what makes my ecosystem and my community different. And I keep that in consideration when I am collaborating with others. So you want to find your thing. What is your foundation when it comes to visibility? What is that one thing that you must have? What is that one core belief? Because my Ahimsa ecosystem is where my community, my collaborations, and even my cash flow grows from an intentional love, respect, boundaries, honor, and sacred living. So that's the one thing that I know is in everything that I do. Ahimsa became a form of protection for me on my journey of losing over 125 pounds. So much traveling, just the way I choose family, friends. And it is definitely going to be there as I step forward into my ultimate vision. If you have been called to show up more and to make more videos, to speak on stage, to be seen, and to feel both excited and vulnerable about your journey, I just wanted to make this video as a reminder that you don't have to abandon what is sacred to make an impact. You can protect her, you can protect your inner version of yourself and still live a future that is in alignment with that higher self, that more high vibrational self that shows up by choosing how you show up with your visibility today. You will be better prepared. So now I would just want to give you some things that you can, some actionable steps that you can take with you along this journey. And it starts with protecting your future self by how you choose to be visible today, as I mentioned. So deciding in advance what parts of your life, what parts of your body, what parts of your relationship and reality do you feel comfortable sharing? Like these are things that you need to be asking yourself now, and that will help shape your content. And you should write this down to make it a private visibility boundary for yourself before you start even reaching out to others for more collaboration. And another thing to do is to choose one consistent format that you're going to be devoted to, at least one to be absolutely devoted to, whether that be video making on YouTube, um, audio recordings, writing. Where can you show up and spread yourself? In a space where you're not spreading yourself too thin or across multiple platforms. If you share to those platforms, in addition to the one, great. But if you don't, it's okay. Like you don't have to pressure yourself. You can be devoted to that one, grow your audience, learn it, get comfortable with it, and just excel and grow with it. And the third thing that I know you could take away is uh, to practice a closing ritual after public experience, public appearances and sharing sessions. Even if you just take like 60 seconds to consciously release after being in the energy of the audience, to ground yourself back into your own energy. This is something that is really helpful for us introverts and those who are spiritually sensitive to just be like, okay, this is my essence, this is my truth, and I'm back into that. Um, Another thing that we need to really think about is what are we creating and how can we invest in that more. So an having and opening a separate investment account labeled specifically for your mission and commit a fixed percentage automatically that is committed to every visibility driven income stream is a powerful step forward. And this is a powerful way to keep you motivated to your visibility journey, because now it's goes beyond being visible. It is funding your creativity, it is investing in yourself, and these are things that you'll be investing in, like land that you may want to build something on, personal growth, personal development, education tools, retreats to prevent burnout or to meet like-minded women, to strengthen your community infrastructure or do more creative ventures. Let that fuel your reason for showing up and being visible by creating that investment fund. Um, and Another thing that you can really do is make sure that you are creating community beyond that one devoted platform, right? You want to create impact on a greater level. So this means choosing one offline platform. Maybe it's an email list, maybe it's a private group that you meet with once a month and have gatherings with. Maybe it is retreats, something to deepen that bond beyond and go beyond building authority that's algorithm based, right? And designing some reoccurring touch points like monthly calls, seasonal gatherings to strengthen your bond without requiring your constant presence. So think about those things and what you really want to devote to making sure that you are building a solid community and taking advantage of that visibility while from day one. And I also want you to plan time away from sharing, time away from visibility, whether it be in small little increments daily, weekly, or on a larger scale where you're doing this, you're taking time away monthly or quarterly. Schedule intentional offline windows and make sure that you put this in your calendar. This is very important. It has to be in the calendar, on the calendar, or, to make sure you do it as a non negotiable visibility break. Okay. And also, like I said, these retreats that you could do quarterly, just be very intentional about them and making sure you choose something that is going to have to reciprocate and pour into you all of the energy that you've been putting out there into your new visibility journey. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you have gotten your journal out and you have written these things down. But I also want you to invite you to join me for a sacred closing. And this is something similar that you could do on your visibility journey as often as you need it. So I want to invite you to just close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and take 3 sacred breaths with me. I want you to breathe. And I want you to think about this space, this veiled visibility space that you are creating. You're intentionally creating a space where you are allowed to serve without being abandoned, where you are still rooted in your sacred self, where you have intimate circle of supporters surrounding you, loyal friends, family, spiritual guides. And I want you to see yourself thriving as that higher version of yourself and allow that veil to expand over you as you share your truth and you keep showing up to make an impact, but doing that with your sacred self intact. May what needs to be seen be seen. May what needs to be protected be amplified in protection. And may your visibility be grounded in intentional, soul led love and fuel and energy. Take what resonates and release what does not, and leave the rest veiled on your sacred visibility journey. Again, take 3 sacred breaths with me. And open your eyes. Thank you so much. I am Zioni, dancing with you on this sacred pathway of your vision, voice, and visibility. Be sure to watch one of these videos next, and be sacred, stay sacred on your journey. Ahimsa.